Hey, look, this is Matt. This message is for Olivia and Jalen and Maya. I'm positive that Richard, Lysandra, and Valerie will hear this. But this is directly Uncle Matt to Jalen, Olivia, and Maya. If you decide not to listen to this, that's okay. As long as I have it off my heart and into you guys' inboxes, that's all that matters to me. The first bullet point that I wanted to send you, 3, Olivia, Jalen, and Maya. First bullet point is that Merry Christmas, Happy Birthday, all of the holidays that come around. You guys know probably better than anybody that I really don't care about American seasons, and that I just function. I just function the way I function. I don't care about, it's Christmas, we need to do this, that, and thus and so. But I've learned not to disrespect what people respect. People respect Christmas and their Christmas traditions, and I've learned to try to appreciate them. So like for Valerie, it's a Christmas tradition that everybody get together, and for the duration of Valerie and my marriage, everybody comes to visit Valerie and Pearl. They are the center, and so everybody gets over there before that's the holiday. That's the tradition. And so I've grumbled and complained over the years about things that were bothered, that I was bothered by. I probably will still complain or grumble about certain things, until they're sort of reconciled. And there's a bunch of things that are not yet reconciled, which brings me to number 2. Number 2 is Olivia, Jalen, and Maya. I have one final act as Uncle Matt that's on my list. In other words, right now our relationship is not yet complete. Okay? And what I mean by our relationship is not yet complete, when a child is being raised by their parents, there's an informal and there's a formal checklist. The formal checklist is, everything that Valerie and me and Lysandra and Pearl have done in raising children. The formal list, make sure that they still got all their fingers and toes. Change their diapers, the formal stuff. Then there's informal stuff. And I am huge in the informal stuff area, because in the informal stuff, for you, Olivia, Jalen, and Maya, the relationship that you have with me, where you call me Uncle Mac, that relationship is not, it's not everything that I've done has been extra in your life. It's not been required. Olivia and Jalen, everything your mother does for you is required. She's your mother. Pearl, everything she did for Valerie, that's her daughter. Richard, everything that Richard has done for Maya is required. That's his daughter. But I didn't have any children until Naomi and Nathan. So any blessings that you guys receive from me, any money that I spent, anything that I've ever done for you three, and I would say Maya, out of the three of you, Maya actually is more entitled to me than Jalen and Olivia will ever be out of the three of y'all. So in other words, because see, Maya is organically my niece because, through marriage, the same way that my sister, the same way that Mackenzie, Mason, Mackenzie, Ryan, Raven, and Major, the same way those are organically Valerie's niece because of marriage. And Mackenzie, Mason, Major, Ryan, and Raven, they have not received from Valerie not even a 100th% of care and love that I have given to Maya. So Maya is the only one out of you three, Olivia, Jalen, and Maya. Out of you three, Maya is the only one that organically has any claim to any of my good nature, good, care as Uncle Matt. Auntie Valerie, in comparison from what I've done for Maya, in comparison to what Valerie has done for my nieces and nephews, Valerie is a deadbeat aunt. In comparison, you could ask Valerie right now, Maya, what have you done for Mason, Mackenzie, Major, Ryan, Raven? First of all, who are Mason, Mackenzie, Ryan, Raven, Major? Those are Matt's sister's children, just like you, Maya, are the niece of Valerie. So anything I've done for Jalen and Olivia, that is, oh my good, that's friend of the family. Friend of the family. friend of the family. And that's why I say I have one more thing to do for you three. Because once I do this last thing, I don't know if I want to see you three again. I really don't. And you three so far have acted like you don't ever want to see me again. And I'm fine with that. But I want as I go through this, I want you guys to know a few things. And like I said, the list 1, 2, and 3. But there's things that are attached to each of these as bullet points. And I'm not gonna write it out because kids don't read. They like to type with their thumbs. You three have soaked up and enjoyed you guys soaked up and enjoyed from me something that it's not a big deal to me, but it should be a big deal to you. The only children that I have fathered are sitting in that house with you, Olivia, and Jalen. I don't know if you guys are over at my place, on the 26th of December, 2020. But here's what you have to understand. If you don't care about me, then you don't care about my children. So you guys are not owed everything that if you look back to think about everything that I've done personally out of my own pocket for y'all. That stuff belongs to Naomi and Nathan. Doesn't belong to you. Olivia, those walks up the mountain, those belong to Naomi and Nathan. They don't belong to you. Jalen, any money that I put in your hand, that does not belong to you. It belongs to Naomi and Nathan. I treated y'all three like my own children. And I know you have to be obedient to Lysandra and Richard and Pearl and Valerie. I know you have to be obedient to them. And if they have required that you three not interact with me and treat me like I'm some troublesome person, then and that's one thing for them to require that. If that's what they have demanded of you, then that is evidence of what I'm saying. That's evidence, Olivia, Jalen, and Maya, that your parents are scumbags. That's evidence of that. Because why would you knowingly use money and use resources and inflate your value to put me down and sit and huddle and work against me? Why would anybody do that? And for anyone to do that, as Valerie, the ringleader, has, it makes me know that it was a waste of time to care about you three. Because if I can,
Stop.
if think about this for a second. During times that your fathers have not been available to you for whatever the reason are, Maya, Jalen, and Olivia, I made myself available to you all the time. As much as I possibly could while working 2 jobs or 3 jobs.
Stop.
While working on my personal music, while developing a news anchor career and a career in stage performances.
Stop.
While developing this, I'm I don't know how long I'll be working on this, but I've been working on it. You guys, that's what you know about me. That's what I do. You can go right to my website, m3dots.com, and you can see all the music that I've created during the time period of our knowing each other. And I've always made time for each of you 3. I've always made time for you 3. Sometimes at the expense of my own children. My 2 children, Naomi and Nathan, they need me. Just like you needed your fathers. And if you 3 don't understand that, if you don't just understand it logically, that the same way that you needed your dads, Naomi and Nathan need their dad. If you do not understand that, you 3, if you don't understand it, then you're probably just as screwed up as Valerie is. Because Valerie, in my opinion, is screwed up. You 3 also know that from age 19 up until age 43, I've not been a person that used cuss words. But all of your parents have used cuss words. Maya, your father, cusses. Jalen and Olivia, your mama, cusses. Pearl, cusses. And all of you, everyone has heard Valerie cussing. But have you heard me cussing over the years? The answer is a definitive no. And it's because one of the first 10 lessons I learned when I became a Christian at 19 is about the tongue being a fire. And that you can set fire with your tongue. And the assignment that God gave me for over 20 years, so from age 19 to age 43, one of the disciplines was to be able to speak without cussing. And it may seem impossible, but you 3 have watched me. You've seen me under pressure. I've never cussed Valerie out in front of y'all. You know, and y'all can make up something, but I know the truth because, see, I'm paying attention. I'm a military trained person, children. I've written down pretty much every detail of you 3's upbringing, whether or not, and I'm not saying that stuff that you know about yourself. I'm talking about stuff that I know about you. So I definitely have kept track of of my own tongue, of my own words. That's why I publish my albums, because I'm keeping track of my words. There are public words and private words. M3-com has my public words. If you Google Matt Ellipsis, you will see my public words. And all three of you children, you have not only had the access to my public words like everyone else in the world has access to my public words, but then there are my private words. My private words, you three have witnessed how I function as a dad. You've witnessed how I function as a dad. You've witnessed how I function as a husband. You've witnessed how I function as a friend to your mama, Lysandra. Lysandra doesn't deserve to be my friend. She doesn't need to be my friend. That's optional. She didn't need to have a key to my place on Cermak. She doesn't need to be there every year. She didn't need to do that. That's optional. For me, it may be something that Valerie wants. So hey, give her what she wants. Would they say happy life, happy wife, whatever that dumb saying is? So the point I'm making regarding number 2 is that I love my children. I love my 3 children 1,000 times more than I love you 3. I love Naomi and Nathan 1,000 times more than I love you 3. Olivia, Jalen, and Maya, you 3 have experienced my love for you. You've experienced it. It's part of your upbringing. You don't get to 18, Olivia. You don't get to 15, 16, Jalen. You don't get to 15, 16, Maya. You don't get to those ages without looking back in your own life and remembering, hey, Uncle Matt did this and Uncle Matt did that. There's a portion of your life that you can write. You could write a chapter about the Uncle Matt influence in your life. You could write a chapter about that. And guess what, Olivia, Jalen, and Maya? My assumption is that the chapter that you would write about me would reflect that I loved and cared about you like my own children, even though you're not my own children. And the reason why that's important is because right now, you guys are enjoying the benefits of my life, my military service. You're enjoying the benefits of that. Toma is right next door to Fort McCoy. I've been coming to Fort McCoy ever since before I ever met Lysandra. Before I ever met Valerie. I was assigned to Fort McCoy, and I've been coming up to Fort McCoy for multiple years. So I've been in and around Toma ever since I was 22 years old. Okay? You guys are living in Toma. Maya. Pearl is probably going to die and be buried in Toma, not that far from Vera. In Toma. Your life, Maya, is directly related to my military service. And yet I have not regularly received interactions from you. Because I know you have to obey Valerie. Obedience to Valerie is more important than being interested in me. Even though the very life that you're living, your mother is buried in Toma, next to Fort McCoy. You wouldn't be in Toma. Your mother would be buried somewhere else if it had not been for my military service. And see, other people come up to me and say, thank you for your service. Maya, I've never heard you say that to me. And not that I need you to. I don't need you to say, thank you for your service. Here's what I need you to say. I need you to say, I recognize that Matt loves his children. Auntie Valerie, could you please stop acting bogus like that? That's what I need you to say. I need you to help me, Maya. I needed Richard to help me, and he didn't help me. You know what help I needed from Richard? I needed for Richard to stand eye to eye with Valerie and tell her, you need to stop holding them children hostage. That's what I needed. But Richard couldn't do it because Valerie is way too powerful. He's afraid of Valerie. Just like everybody else is. Everybody's afraid of Valerie. And me spending yesterday, I spent less than 2 hours with my children on Christmas while you guys spread your coronavirus all through the place. Olivia and Jalen, your mother is a healthcare worker. She's a nurse. Do you know that? Do you know how unsafe that is? I know that's your mama. But your mama is a healthcare worker. She should be quarantined and y'all should be quarantined. But y'all spreading coronavirus all through the house. What my children are you out of your mind? Those are my babies. And it shows me that Lysandra is afraid of Valerie. Lysandra is the most cunning and fearful woman that I've ever met, probably. Because Lysandra, I believe, is smarter than Valerie. She is, between Valerie and Lysandra, I believe Lysandra is double the smarts of Valerie. Valerie, I don't think she'll ever achieve the brilliance of Lysandra. I don't think she ever will. But Lysandra is so afraid that she's afraid of Valerie. So she will never educate Valerie on how dumb she is and how wrong she is for the way that she treats me. See, Lysandra, she has her own problems with Joseph. And the problems that she's got with Joseph have nothing to do with me. They have nothing to do with me. Nothing. My relationship with Valerie is different from her relationship with Joseph. I don't care. Just because we're both rappers don't mean that we're the same person. And Olivia and Jalen, you both know that there's a difference between Uncle Matt and Joseph. You know that. You know it. Jalen, last time you and me hung out last year, you got a chance to hear the difference. If you didn't know before. Chicken and that bread, 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 chicken and that bread. Lysandra married That chicken and that bread, Lysandra married. That chicken and that bread, Lysandra married. That chicken and that bread, chicken and that bread. I saw your face, Jalen, when we were looking at that. You have been listening to Kanye West, right? You've been listening to Kanye West music because you know he's now Christian, so it's kind of safe for you to listen to some. You can listen to this in front of your mama. You know what I'm saying? You don't have to hide what you listen to. You know, other stuff that you've been listening to. You could actually play that in front of your mama. Cause hey, he's a Christian now. You know, Kanye West, Christian now. Yeah. Father, I stretch my hands to thee. Whatever songs he got, right? And compare that to your father. Chicken in that bread, chicken in that bread. I love chicken. I love bread. I love whatever. Yeah. And I watched your face, Jalen, be like, wow, this is my father. Wow. But Jalen and Olivia and Maya, guess what? Naomi and Nathan, they don't have a father that's all about chicken and that bread, chicken and that bread, chicken and that bread. No. Olivia, Jalen, and Maya, Naomi and Nathan, they have a father who sings, you will keep me in perfect peace when my mind is stayed on you. You will keep me in perfect peace when my mind is stayed on you. Naomi and Nathan have a father that sings this. Walking by faith is my response to our intimacy. Walking by faith is my response to our intimacy. If you look into me, you'll see who I am and who I am to be. If you look into me, you'll see all of my impurities, and you can cleanse me. I just wanna be alone, just you and me, intimacy. I just wanna be close to you, intimacy. You've touched my heart and my soul. Let your love take control. You see me as I am, still your love helps me stand. Intimacy, 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 intimacy. Naomi and Nathan have a father that speaks like this. I become irresponsive to my feelings. I'm walking by decrees. What it be ain't my decider. What it shall is what I see. It's hard to calculate the fullness and relate my faith and pull it in one definition. Put it like this. I've been birthed with many visions. Each one a mission, full with provision, tuned precision to stick. When I'm sitting to the harvest, hearken, listen. Line up on line, we'll build this precept as we step in unfamiliar districts and get set, so get this. It's not about the limelight or thick checks. Anointing is where I get lyric strength. So I can speak to dead bones and make them crack the casket, pierce the soil, cause the word is like the oil flowing through this broken vessel, like a lasso, captivating. I wrestle with those vacillating with the text. I grapple till I have them in the kingdom. That's part of the agenda. Forcefully advancing, vigorous expansion of domain. Now my purpose was written in the fibers of my DNA. You see that, hey, I can't help but to be this way. You see this way, you speak this flame. Naomi and Nathan have a father that is talented and understands how valuable I am. I understand why I am who I am. I understand who I am. I understand whatever it is that makes Valerie oppose me like she does, and have opposed me over the years. Whatever her motivations are, you three, Olivia, Jalen, and Maya, you three should be intelligent enough. You should be intelligent enough to know Auntie Valerie, you're treating Uncle Matt wrong. And I know you're like, oh, I don't want to get in the middle. I don't want to get in the middle. But guess what? I got in the middle with y'all. Olivia, when your father said, I don't want to be bothered with you. And my guess is, this is my guess. This is my guess. Your father was so smart. And he said, he's so smart because he saw how worthless of a woman Lysandra potentially could have been, and said, I don't want to have nothing to do with this woman. And I know we had a child together, but this woman is a horrible woman. How did I mix myself up with such a worthless, horrible woman? And if I interact with this child all the way to 18, 19, that means I gotta continuously interact with this of a woman. So, as much as I don't want to deny my own seed, my own child, as much as I don't want to deny her, I know I can fix it later. I can fix it later. She's going, automatically all children seek out their father. So I'm going to rely, this is what I believe Tone said in his mind, I'm going to rely on nature. I'm going to rely on God to bring you, Olivia, back to me, because all children quest for their father. All children quest for their father. All children quest for their father. Maya, you talk to your father. Remember your quest for your father? I just want to be with my dad. I'm tired of being around Auntie Valerie, cause she get Auntie Valerie. I said, I understand. Believe me, I understand. I got to deal with Auntie Valerie too. Both of me, Auntie Valerie, yeah, cause Auntie Valerie. And like, yeah, I know what you're saying. Good God, yeah. What else? Auntie Valerie, yeah, cause Auntie Valerie, and Auntie Valerie, yeah. I just want to be around my pop. I just want to be around my daddy. Yep. All children quest for their father. Jalen. See, Jalen is blessed because his father did come back. But Jalen, I was around your father when he was connecting with his father. I got the whole story. If you don't know it, and if y'all don't know it, I know the whole story related to Joseph and meeting his father. The reason why he came to Chicago is in quest of his father. I met your grandfather, Jalen. I met him. He's a musician, and I believe he's still alive in Chicago. Your grandfather is somewhere If I'm not mistaken, I could be wrong because, I ain't been up on, Joseph don't call me. But I'm still in communication with all of the people that Joseph screwed over. Your father, your father came to Chicago in search of his father, found Jesus. And Jesus sent him to me. And if you think I'm lying, all you got to do is talk to Dean. Dean Rogan. Talk to Dean Rogan. Jalen, call Dean Rogan. Interact with me. My email address is m3dots@yahoo.com. Jalen, I sent you a text message and you haven't responded. And this is part of point number 2. And that is, by now, y'all 3 should have called me. I asked everybody, I've asked y'all, I would like to have a phone meeting or a meeting in person. And since coronavirus is not that big of a deal because, y'all came from Chicago and coronavirus is higher. I think, let me see, is it Wisconsin? Is more higher? Y'all came and y'all in the same house with y'all coronavirus potential selves over my children, around my children, then that means y'all can definitely meet me in person. If y'all can do that. My point is this. Olivia, Jalen, and Maya. This is what I wanted to do with y'all. I wanted to have a meeting with y'all so that I can interact with you and set up my final gift to y'all 3. Because here's the deal. If y'all don't care about me, then you definitely don't care about my children. Maya, your father Richard has demonstrated that he doesn't care about me. Not to the level that I cared about him. And when my children are your age, my children will know for sure by my mouth that how much Richard does not care about them, because he's had all of 2020. This whole year, Richard has had an opportunity to care about me. And I'm gonna tell you, all I need is one thing for Richard to care about me. All Richard had to do was let Valerie know and convince Valerie all he needed to do is convince Valerie to stop being an a-hole baby mama to Matt and let him be with his children. That's all he got to do. All he has to do is convince Valerie the same way that he convinced Vera and you to get out of that hospital against medical advice. Valerie, non-doctor, non-medical professional at all, ain't got no medical professional. Lysandra got more medical credentials in her pinky toe, her gnarled up, ugly, hideous, smelly toe jam cake pinky toe than Valerie got in her whole balloon head body. And yet Richard allowed himself to be bullied and convinced by Valerie to pull Vera out of a hospital in Illinois to bring her to church just so that church people could pray for her. And you know what your mother said, Maya? Your mother said this to Richard, and Richard and I have always talked about this over the years. This is what Vera said. Okay, now Vera said this to I don't know if she said it to Valerie, because I wasn't in there. I stayed out. I was in the vehicle waiting while Valerie was she was bullying the whoever. Okay, just listen, Maya, ask your father what happened. I was there. I was the driver. I was the getaway driver for Valerie's ridiculousness. Vera said, if these church people care about me, then they'll come to the hospital and pray for me while I'm here. That is what your mother said, Maya. But Valerie said, the Lord is gonna heal her, so we're gonna bring her to church. And I got the video I got the video, Maya. Let me tell you what happened in church, Maya. Your mother, I'm gonna tell you what happened. So, your mother, Maya, she said, if the church people care about me, then they will come to see me in the hospital. But the truth is, Maya, Vera was right. The church people did not care about Vera. Vera was right. See, because here's the thing. Part of the reason that there was a double funeral, meaning a funeral at Evangelical Free and at some other church that Lysandra or whoever set up. The reason why there was a funeral for Chicago / Toma at the same time, the reason why that exists is because of what Vera said. If the church people care about me, then they would come visit me in the hospital. And guess what? They didn't. And Valerie finally got that lesson and was mad at Pastor Brian and Pastor Carla for not allowing them to do the funeral there or whatever. I was around. Pastor Carla called me and said, listen, Valerie went forward with some stuff, and please call Valerie and let her know that the things that she set up, we can't do that. I got audio and video of both those situations. The funeral. I got audio and video of when Valerie pulled your mother out. When Valerie pulled Vera out of the hospital and took her to church. There was a preacher there, and he supposedly did a miracle. Oh, and Vera stood up, and the whole church was like, oh wow! And I got video of all this. And so then there was nothing. They prayed some light little prayer and get y'all tail out here, out whatever. And here's what Valerie said to me when everything was over with. She was mad because it did not yield the results that she was looking for. She was expecting this grand miracle that Vera would be healed of all of her blah 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 and all that other stuff. And so now church service is over with. Get on out. And Vera had to down the she had to up the stairs, then down the stairs, back into the car, into the I think we were driving the Benz, I believe. Right? And then, now we done did all this stuff. Everybody's hungry now. So we go to get something to eat. And here's a quote from Valerie. Here's a quote from her. I wish we could just drop them back off at the hospital. That's what she said. That's what Valerie said. See, she was mad because what she wanted to have happen did not happen. She was in the passenger seat. I was in the driver's seat. I wish we could just drop them off. Can't do it. They left against medical advice. Valerie did that. Vera wanted to stay in the hospital under medical care. Let the church people come visit her, which they wasn't going to do. And I don't know why Valerie, it was so important. Because Vera was right. Just right. But here's the thing. This is the point I'm making about Richard. Richard knows this. Richard let them, whatever, but Richard should have stood up at that point and said, look, Valerie, go to church. I don't care if you're upset with me, but me and my wife, we staying here. You take your raggedy tail on to church. Your husband's waiting in the car. That's what Richard should have said. But Richard was a punk at that time. And that's what upsets me a little bit about Richard is that is he still a punk now? I done got 12 months of him being a punk. He can't stand up to Valerie for nothing. There is no situation, even in the situation where he had a girlfriend after after Vera died, he was still a punk in that, I think. I don't know. But, this woman that, that Richard hooked up with, I talked to the lady afterwards. Valerie sat both of them down to educate them on why they shouldn't be together. Valerie is a meddlesome somebody, ain't she? Boy, she's meddlesome. She meddled in Lysandra and Joseph's marriage. Didn't she? Yeah, Valerie. We're gonna do a counseling session between Pastor Brian and Pastor Carla and Joseph and me and Lysandra and you and Valerie gonna be in the counseling session. What we got to do with y'all marriage? What we got to do with y'all marriage? And then after the counseling session, Lysandra and Valerie are mad at me. And listen, Lysandra, she wasn't really mad. She really wasn't mad. Valerie was mad because I wasn't backing up. Because God don't bless no mess at your request. She know that because that was the same preacher who said God will not bless your mess at your request. That's the same dude who preached the sermon when Vera stepped out of the went against medical advice. Went on Valerie's advice against medical advice. Lysandra went against wise advice because Pastor Brian said, listen, here's how we solve this problem. Y'all just have no contact with each other. Pastor Brian and Pastor Carla said to Lysandra and Joseph and me and Valerie, y'all two should not have contact with each other anymore. Do you know how that would have solved a lot of my problems in my marriage to this ridiculous heifer, Valerie? Do you understand how much of a blessing it would have been for me to only have to care about Nathan and Naomi and don't have to worry about Olivia and Jalen and dealing with Joseph's ridiculous self and dealing with Lysandra's ridiculous, slimy, boneheaded, got more hair than Valerie, but still, do you know how blessed my life would have been if this heifer didn't have to come to my house every year? If I didn't have to be bothered with Jalen and Olivia, if I didn't have to be bothered with y'all, because Maya is wonderful. Maya is delightful. Richard being a punk, dealing with Valerie, is so much better and easier than dealing with Lysandra's ridiculous tale. Lysandra is a Budinsky. She been Budinsky of my marriage for a long time. Long before she got married to Joseph. She's like, I want to be, look, oh my God, it's too many things I'm going to talk about. It's too many things. So my point is this. If you don't care about me, you definitely don't care about my children. Because I sure enough cared about y'all. I have demonstrated care for all of y'all. I've demonstrated it. I've demonstrated it. I've demonstrated it. I've demonstrated care for all of y'all. And so far, Olivia, Jalen, and Maya, all of your parents have proved to be bonehead users. At least in my opinion. You know what? And here's the thing. All you got to do is talk to my family members. Talk to my family members. Talk about where I came from. Talk to my family members, which y'all never had to. Y'all really never really had to. It's like I didn't have to be Uncle Matt to y'all. But I did. And in my mind, even though I got this problem with all of y'all, all of them, and I'm trying to articulate my problem with y'all, I still regard y'all as family. I still love Valerie. I don't want to have sex with her anymore. I don't want to be her husband, shoulder to shoulder and hand in hand. I don't want to be that to her anymore. I just want to be her friend, like it was before we got married. That's all I want. I want for Valerie and me to be friends. Y'all got friends? How many of us have them? Let's be friends. That's all I want, to just be friends with Valerie. That's all I want. We got children together. There is no reason why my children have to spend only 2 hours or less than 2 hours with their father who loves them, while you three have had parents who were not always able to care about you at the level that I've cared about you, but yet I am deprived. My children are deprived of me. And all I'm doing is I'm speaking it. All right? I don't talk about this stuff. That's why y'all may think, Matt, something's wrong with Uncle Matt. Let me tell you what's wrong with Uncle Matt. I'm tired of not being with my children. That's all I wanted, is to be around my children. That's all I want. I don't want nobody else no more. All I care about is Naomi and Nathan. That's all I care about, is them. Anybody else that I care about is extra. And Valerie is standing in the way of that, directly standing in the way of that. She's doing that. And you can think everything you want. You can, whatever it is you feel, just remember, this is a signpost. Because I learned that situations that you might be upset about, or situations that you deal with where you do something wrong, you might mess around and be on the other side of it. Like, for instance, one of the things that's poetic about Valerie and my life is this. When Valerie and I started our relationship, when we started our marriage under the cloud of her and this extra dude that she loved. And Lysandra knows the whole story, because Lysandra was there helping Valerie out, as she is. She's her ride or die. So, while she was married to me, she had an extramarital scenario. That she was deceitful to me about throughout the first 5-6 years of our marriage. Actually, throughout the first 9 years of our marriage, she was deceitful to me about stuff. Now, she hasn't told me everything, so there's stuff I could say she was deceitful about the whole marriage. But Lysandra's right there. Lysandra know the whole story. And what's funny is that when Valerie made me homeless, I was able to be on the phone with my high school sweetheart, and we were just friends. She respected my marriage. She's been, single. While I was married, she was single. She could have been with anybody else. And not saying that she was waiting for me. She wasn't waiting on me. She was working on herself. Like Valerie should have been working on herself. And so by the time December happened, and I let Valerie know that, that I no longer want to be, I don't want to have and continue a sexual relationship with her. That I want to, this is what I told her. Matter of fact, I got the whole, never mind. I let her know that I want us to go back to being friends. She didn't like that. So she made me homeless, and I spent about 4 months homeless, and because I had a good friend, her name is Shanae. Because of her friendship and her support, and my father, who over the years of my time, around y'all, my father has been homeless multiple times. And as soon as I became homeless because of Valerie, my father, he came to court with me, and he looked at the judge. He said, he told the judge and the family court commissioner, he's like, you mean to tell me you gonna let my son stay homeless? And the judge and the commissioner, they both said, yeah, and then they walked out. So the system makes men homeless. At least Monroe County, the court system here. Valerie made me homeless. The court system enabled her to make me homeless. And the thing that the irony that's funny is that my relationship started with Valerie having a love thing with somebody else that she had to put to the side for me, and she never really had to put it to the side because she maintained it. And I did not before me and Valerie got married. Me and Shanae had an opportunity to get back together, and I dissed Shanae for Valerie. I dissed Shanae for Valerie. Valerie didn't diss Reno for me. She had both. Valerie was able to have both. I didn't. I couldn't have both. I chose Valerie over Shanae. And I don't regret that decision only because, number one, Naomi and Nathan. Number two, Olivia, Jalen, and Maya. You 5 children, my 2 children, and you 3. You 3 have enriched my life in so many ways. You 3 have made my life so amazing. Jalen, when you and your mother were living in St. Louis, you did one of the cutest things to me, and I'm talking about, I think this was the point when I really started to like you. And not saying that I didn't like you before, but you were a baby, and babies are like, I mean, Naomi and Nathan, from day one, even from the womb, they were better than all 3 of y'all. Okay, just you gotta accept it. Naomi, just the most beautiful girl in the world. She's way prettier than both Olivia and Maya. Y'all look in the mirror and look at my daughter, and she's just better than both of y'all. It just is, okay? And Nathan, Jalen, you got a lot of work to do to overcome your father's face and your mother's face in your face. You are in a deep, I'm talking about, you got to work out and have a nice body, because your father's body and your body and Sandra's body and you Jalen, you better keep it together, because whoa, you look just like your pa. Woo, you look just like your father. You got a lot of overcoming to do. Ooh, both y'all, all 3 of y'all. Look at Richard's face in Maya's face. Oh, Jesus. I think that Maya is probably the prettiest out of all y'all, and it might just because she light skinned. You know, that might just be it. She light and she like that, and you know, but all three of y'all is just a ridiculous. Y'all are the most hideous, garbage pail looking kids that I've ever met. I ain't met no more worse garbage pail kids. Y'all got garbage parents. Y'all parents are garbage parents. Okay, they are made. Your parents are from the garbage. Y'all parents are from the garbage, and y'all ain't nothing but garbage pail children. But y'all garbage pail children, okay? But so my children are just better than y'all. You just have to accept that as a fact, okay? Accept it as a mat fact. It's a mat fact that my two children are better than y'all three. Just accept it, okay? But you know, just like Oscar the Grouch is lovable, y'all are some lovable. I think out of the three of y'all, I think the most lovable is Maya. Maya is the most lovable. Olivia is the second most lovable. And then Jalen is the most tolerable. No, you know what? All three of y'all are equally as lovable and equally as detestable. I love y'all three. I love y'all so much. I love y'all, Olivia, Maya, Jalen. I love y'all so much. Okay?
You want to go there?
And
Yeah.
what you have to understand is I'm frustrated with you because all year I've been angling and hoping for y'all to interact with me because I'm still Uncle Matt. We're still family. And what I learned about God, what I learned about Pastor Brian and Pastor Carla, is that blended families exist. Jalen, Maya, you were grafted into Valerie's family. Vera had a little bit of jealousy of the close relationship that Lysandra and Valerie had. But who's the beneficiary of being grafted in? Olivia and Jalen. You guys benefit from being grafted into that family. And you know, and that I was a part of. I'm still part of the family. As far as I'm concerned, listen, the judge told this Valerie is the one who made me homeless, and she's the one that made it so that I could no longer be in my home and be in legal separation. She didn't file for divorce because Valerie doesn't want to be divorced. Valerie still wants to be with me. Even though she's treated me the way she's treated me, she still wants to be with me. She does not want to be divorced from me. Valerie still wants to be with me. And it's really funny because Valerie had two men that wanted to be with her, me and Reno. And Reno was angling, fighting, trying to let her know up until the wedding day. Listen, up until the wedding day, Reno was trying to get Valerie to say, come on, get married to me. But she know that if she would have canceled the marriage on me, you ain't using that church for nothing. You ain't gonna have this big elaborate wedding day. I'm not paying for somebody else's wedding. I would listen, and you know here's the thing. Everybody, if Valerie would have said and ran off with dude, I would have turned my wedding day into the greatest concert in the world. Straight up, because I would have turned it into a roast of Valerie. She would have ran off with him. I would have got a picture of both of them, which I don't have a picture of him. But no, I do have a picture. I do have a picture. Oh my God. I got pictures of him. I got video. Oh my God, I got a bunch of stuff. I forgot. I got it. I got to sit. So, listen, I would put something up and everybody be assembled. I said, listen, it was supposed to be a wedding here. And I would have married myself. I would have reaffirmed my commitment to God on my wedding day. I would have been the one to spin around the thing myself, right? It would have been bum 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 bum, and then I would have spin around like Valerie spin around the thing, and it was in, and I would have came out Whom the sun sets free is freer than anyone. I would have been like, thank you, Lord, for saving me from a lifetime of misery with this woman. That's what I would have came out with an album and all that other stuff. If she would have went ahead been with Reno, and I would have had, because you can't get your money back. Boy, I would have still been able to save a few dollars. She spent my whole. I had $10,000 in the bank. She spent pretty much all of that on, place and wedding, all of that other stuff. Listen, the stuff I'm telling you, you don't have to believe me. I have all of the paperwork. I have everything I'm saying. I have something to back up what I'm saying, to show you that what I'm saying is true. Okay? So you can believe Valerie all you want, and you can go against medical advice and trust Valerie. You can go against your own feelings and punk out to Valerie. You can do that if you want to, but you can do that. But here's the thing. So here's what I'm saying. That my two children, they have the opportunity to be raised by not only their father, but also by cousins. As you know, Maya is a cousin, an actual cousin, and Olivia and Jalen, you two are grafted in cousins. Grafted in, y'all are people. Just look up the word grafted in your little, your little phones or whatever, and you'll find out what grafted in means. I don't know if Valerie knows what grafted in means. I don't know if Lysandra is smart enough. I think if I were going to bet on which one, Valerie or Lysandra, which one of them understands what being grafted in means, it's going to be Lysandra. I think Lysandra is smarter than Valerie. I believe so. So, but being grafted in, I grafted you guys into my life the way that you guys grafted me into yours. But I'm the elder, so it's more on me. And I blessed you guys, and you know it. I know it. And regardless of how anybody talks about it, it's easier to call me crazy than respond to what I'm saying with actual reality. You can make up a bunch of facts against me like Valerie does, but, fine. That's the way you feel, that's fine. But here's the bottom line. I don't want to argue any of this stuff. All I want is to be with my children. Naomi and Nathan are my number one priority. You three, I don't need to do anything for you anymore, except for one more thing. Which brings me to my third and final point. I am counting the days. So, I'm asking you to, while you all are in the same city, you super spreader jokers, super spreading all in my house, around my children, with a healthy. I'm counting the days while you, Olivia, Jalen, and Maya, while you're in the same state, I'm asking that you three would get on the phone with me. Jalen, you have my phone number as a text. You've never responded, and that bothers me. Oh yeah, I was telling you, Jalen. Let me tell you these quick little stories about you three, real quick before I get out of here. Jalen, the moment that I started to really like you was when I want to say you were either 5 or 6, either 4, 5, or 6, but you were very, very smart. you're a combination of your mother and your father, and you have a mean streak, and you have a quiet humility also. So I think you might have the perfect mix of both of them. In other words, Jalen could. I mean, Joseph. He could have done better. If he would have straightened himself up, he could have got a better quality woman than your mother. But because Joseph was what he was, Lysandra is way better of a woman than Joseph ever deserves for what he is. And I'm talking about for the rest of his life. There's no woman that Joseph will ever get that will ever be better than Lysandra. Lysandra is the best that Joseph has. So what I'm saying is this. That women marry their mothers. Men marry their mothers and women marry their fathers. Okay? So what I'm saying is this, is that Jalen, as you're choosing women, I do have some insight for you that's going to help you choose the right woman, because I know your mother and I know your father. And there are about 3 bullet points about your mother that if you can figure this out in whoever you're at, if you can identify these 3 points, no matter what she does, no matter how ridiculous she might be, as long as she got these 3 bullet points that your mother got, you're going to be all right. And you'll be able to make a lifelong relationship or not. It doesn't matter, because when relationships are relationships, man. You know what I'm saying? You get with somebody, you fall out of a relationship with them, and you get with somebody else. That's just the way the world is. Donald Trump been married. He's been married 3 times, and the religious right, they love him. You know what I'm saying? Obama's been married 1 time, and he's the nuclear family, just like me, Valerie, and my children, right? 2 children, and for a little while we had a dog, right? They and the religious right hated him. He's a secret Muslim, gay, blah blah blah, right? So the world is ridiculous. Okay, so but as you're going through, there's 3 bullet points. I'm not going to say it in this recording, but there are 3 bullet points about Lysandra that make her amazing. Because Lysandra is amazing. Listen, the reason why I could say that she's a boneheaded heifer, and her toes look like they gnarled up, right? The reason why I can talk about her and her nappy-headed self, the reason why I can do that is because I do care about her. I've loved her even when she was being ridiculous to me, meddling in my marriage like she was. But I still care about her ridiculous self. And listen, just because people get divorced, or just because a relationship don't work out, life still goes on. Valerie and Maya are a reflection of that. Both of them lost their parents. They lost a parent around the same season, which is another thing you guys got to understand. History repeats itself, so you need to learn it. So what I'm saying is, Jalen, think about how you're treating me. Think about our relationship. Keep it. Don't sit in the background. Give me a call, man. I'm going to always answer the phone for you. And I'm not necessarily interested in, what's going on with your mama, what's going on with this, that, and the other. But here's the thing. I'm trying to still bless your father. I'm still trying to bless your father. Because just like I care about Lysandra, I care about your father too. Even though Joseph has been a douche to me, I don't hate him. I already knew that he was going to do that stuff to me. I already knew that stuff. But that don't mean I don't love him. Last year, I'll show you. I sent to Joseph an email to say, hey man, if you're in trouble, just want you to know that here's my email. Because he knows my email. He know I ain't going nowhere. m3.com. I ain't going nowhere. And I ain't running from nobody. I am fulfilling God's will for my life. And part of God's will for my life is taking care of my children. And on the list of things of God's will for my life, I've got one more item that's required of me for you three. So Jalen, here's the thing that the moment that I really begin to really it took root of how amazing that you are. So you came out, you were drinking a juice or a pop or something like that in a cup. And I took the cup out your hand and I drank the whole thing and I handed you back the cup. And you looked at the cup and looked at me. And you looked at the cup and it still had like a little couple of droplets in it. And you threw the droplets at me and ran back in the house. Oh my God, I'm going to make a music video where I'm going to have that happen. Okay, so just so you know, that moment, that Jalen moment, was so funny and so wonderful to me. I said, this little boy is amazing. He's the firstborn boy in the tribe, in Valerie's umbrella tribe thing. I said, Jalen is amazing. Olivia, you already know our thing. Let me see, Maya. You know what, Maya? What I loved about you, and I captured it. I actually captured it. If you look up one of the happy birthday songs on YouTube that I did for Nathan, I explained to Nathan that Nathan got the privilege of being the older and being the youngest so that he could understand Naomi more. Cause like, you know, I'm not finna go into it, but Vera is the firstborn of Pearl and Vera's father, unnamed. Valerie is the firstborn of Richard and Pearl, and Vera was grafted in to that relationship, and grafted in so much that Vera married a man named Richard, same name as Valerie's father, right? Okay, now Olivia is the firstborn of Tone and Lysandra, okay? And then Jalen is the firstborn between Lysandra and Joseph, right? Maya is the firstborn of Vera and Richard. I am the firstborn of Vivian and Rocco, okay? Nathan is the firstborn between Valerie and me. The only one out of this whole group of people that are not firstborns is my baby Naomi. Do you know that if Valerie would have hooked up with cause Valerie asked me, she said, what if I had a baby? This was after we had Nathan. She asked me, what if I had a baby from another person? Did she ask me that beforehand? She might have asked me that beforehand, but either she was pregnant or some of that. Anyway, I believed at the time that she was trying to set it up so that she got a baby by me and then a baby by the one she loved, which was Reno. That's what I believed. And that's one of the reasons why I made movements like I did, because no. I'm not finna be no baby. I'm not about to have baby mama drama. If you gonna be with me. Either you gonna be with me or you gonna be with somebody else, right? But you know, I'm gonna make it difficult for you to leave me, cause I did care about Valerie. I'm not saying I don't love her. I did. I was trying to make my marriage work too. Valerie is a difficult person to live with. She's a difficult person to be around. Ask Maya. Maya know. Everybody knows how difficult that squirrelhead heifer is. Everybody does. With her fat head. She's difficult to be with. And I did the undoable. Married her. Ugh. I did that. I don't regret marrying Valerie. Okay, I don't. I just want you to know, I don't regret marrying Valerie. I don't get Naomi and Nathan if I don't have Valerie. Okay, so I don't have any regrets of being with her. Now I will speak about it because I do have emotions. Like she got emotions, I got emotions. Here's the thing. But that's the thing. With my emotions, I've always kept my emotions in check. Now listen. Here's what I mean. Valerie cuss, Pearl cuss, Richard cuss, Vera cuss. No, I think Vera cuss less than everybody. And then I think Lysandra cuss less than everybody now. And I think the one who cusses the most, if I was going to guess, is somewhere between Richard and Pearl of who cussed the most. So out of y'all three, let me guess. Who cusses the most between Olivia, Jalen, and Maya? Let me think. I think Maya probably cussed the most out of y'all three. That's what I think. But y'all can let me know. But anyway, I love y'all three. I love y'all. Okay? And see, here's the thing. All I really want is a relationship with my children. That's all I want. Y'all and the parents, I can always deal with y'all later. But right now, it's critical time. Guess what? It was critical time for y'all. When y'all was growing up, when y'all was their age, it was critical time. Didn't have no time for no problems. Whatever needed to be done, I just did it. And I didn't argue about it. But right now, it's critical time for me and my children. And that's what I need. That's what I would love for y'all to participate in. I would love for y'all to help me have my children. Do something. Do something to help me have my children and tell me what you did. I did something to help y'all have a good upbringing. And I'm going to tell y'all what I did. Right? Because Valerie, she doesn't show me appreciation. Lysandra doesn't show me appreciation. Richard don't show me appreciation for what I've done for y'all three. So I have to talk about it. And listen, I'll stop talking about what I've done for y'all when I start getting some appreciation from them boneheaded three parents of y'all. You know, I'm talking about, Lysandra, Richard, and Valerie. Valerie, the ringleader. Valerie's head is so boneheaded, that's why she bald at the top. She's more bald than me at the top. Which is evidence that I'm her head. So the number 3 thing is, look, I'm asking that while you 3 are in the same town, I'm asking that you would all 3 get on the phone together and call me. I don't want to do this on Messenger. I want to do this on the phone. On the phone, all 3 of y'all. And don't put no time limit. Oh, we only got 15 minutes, so what you want, Uncle Matt? Don't you do that to me. Because y'all are some late waking up folks. I'm up early in the morning. Early in the morning will I rise and seek your face. I'm up early. So y'all don't give me I didn't give y'all no time limit on my love for y'all. So y'all bet not call me with no time limit. But I don't think that you will, because Valerie intimidates y'all. And Lysandra and Richard, they are intimidated, and they will always be intimidated by Valerie. Which means that y'all won't even do it. And if that's going to be the case, then that lets me know that is what proves to me. If y'all can't do that, if y'all can't call me, if y'all can't help me, because I'm not asking y'all to do anything to jeopardize your friendship and relationship with Valerie. I'm not asking that. The number one thing I'm asking for is for y'all to call me so that I can work out the details of this last final blessing that I got for each of y'all three. So far, none of y'all even care that I have a blessing for y'all. Which means, if y'all don't call me, then guess what? I'm giving the blessing to somebody else. Because y'all have proven. And the fact that I'm going to give it to somebody else, I'm going to give it to somebody else. And I'm going to remind my children for the rest of their life how I blessed Olivia, Jalen, and Maya. And I cared about them. And guess what? They didn't care about me back. I'm going to remind them. Just like Richard has already made it. It's on his permanent record with me that he don't give an F about me. Lysandra has already put it on her permanent record with me that she don't give an F about me. Valerie has put it on her permanent record with me that she'd rather make me homeless. So, my children will know this. They will know it. So, you got to understand, all children seek after their fathers. But guess what? I'm not letting my children seek after me. I was there. The only person that's blocking is Valerie. You know, and see, Nathan, he loves you, Jalen. He's like, look, let Jalen come outside. No, I don't want to see nobody. If Jalen can't even call me, that's my point. If Jalen can't even call me back when I text him, try to reach out to him, if you can't call me back, I don't want to play with him outside with my babies. Acting like a scumbucket, Jalen. Don't you be a scumbucket. Now, you can be a scumbucket if you want to. Your choice. But I'm just saying, all I care about is my babies. Y'all three are practically adults. All of y'all three, y'all can have babies right now. You can have jobs right now. You can drive right now. Y'all don't need me at all no more. You know who needs me? It's my babies. That's who needs me. And anybody who stands in the way of me and my babies is wrong. And that's what I'm saying. I just want to be with my children. I'm not Tone. Tone said, I don't want to be around you, Olivia. I'm not Joseph. Joseph said, I'd rather go do other stuff than, take care of my family or be around my family. That's not me. I care about my children. And I am very, very tired of Valerie's blocking of my relationship with my children. It's called parental alienation. And I'm tired of being alienated as a parent, and I'm tired of Valerie alienating my children from their father. She's blocking. And if you think that I'm wrong, then be man enough and woman enough to tell me from your perspective how I'm wrong. But you're not. You guys are not. Nobody's man enough to tell me where I'm wrong. Valerie is able to lie and connive. And everybody goes on with their lives. And so here's the thing. I'm watching the clock. I'm watching the calendar. You guys have a certain number of days in my heart that if you guys don't get in touch with me, you three don't get in touch with me, I'm taking my blessing that I was going to give to y'all and I'm giving it somewhere else. And I'm going to let my children know that y'all don't care about me like I've cared about y'all, which means that there is no way that y'all care about my children. And if nobody cares about my children the way I've cared about y'all, I definitely don't want them around them. I definitely don't want people who don't care about my children around my children. My children are not pawns. I didn't treat y'all three like pawns. I didn't treat y'all like money. Do you know, Olivia, that, I'm not finna get into it. I love y'all three, but I love my children more than I love y'all three. I love my children more than I love anybody else on this planet. Naomi and Nathan are my number one priority. And anybody that stands in the way of me being able to care for and love my children is wrong. My email address is m3dots@yahoo.com. My website is m3dots.com. This has been a production of the Ellipsis Show. These are my thoughts and my words on the 26th of December 2020. And I'm going to end it by saying that I still consider Valerie family. I still consider Pearl and Richard and Lysandra family. I still consider you three, Olivia, Jalen, and Maya. I consider you family. But Naomi and Nathan, right now, they are the number one priority. And they should be for everybody. Just like we all, Pearl, Richard, Valerie, Lysandra, Vera, and me, we all work together to make sure that you three, Olivia, Jalen, and Maya, were able to grow up and be healthy like you are. Now you get a chance to witness some of the differences between us. Okay, it's not a big deal. All families got issues. It's no big deal. This is not a big deal. Okay? Because when you have families, you're gonna have these issues too. If you're, it's just the way it is. Blended families are a blessing. God so loved the world that he created a scenario of blended families. Jesus was born to the Jews. He was born Jewish, born from the tribe of one of the Israel tribes, whatever. Mary and Mary was Jewish, but he created an opportunity for the Gentiles to also be grafted in. So all of us have an opportunity to accept God's love. And God is a father to the fatherless. So when you needed a father, I was able to step in. Jalen, when you needed a father, I was able to step in. Maya, when your father wasn't able to do everything for you that he needed, he wanted to be able to do, I stepped in. And I functioned in what's called the Amaven. Amaven is the brother of the mother. The brother of the mother, the Amaven. I functioned as Lysandra's brother. I functioned as the Amaven. And the funny part about it is Valerie's has never, ever been to any of my family members what I've been to her family members. Never, ever, never. So this situation is an opportunity for God's love to be on display. Each of us have an opportunity to function in God's love and forgiveness. You've had me as an example of that. Valerie has demonstrated that in some ways. Lysandra has demonstrated that in some ways. Richard has demonstrated that in some ways. Pearl has demonstrated that in some ways. Vera has demonstrated that in some ways, and so have I. So, blended families, that's what this planet is. God's people are blended families. So, I'm in addition to calling you, which is the number, that's the first thing I want you guys to do. But the real main thing that I want you to do, Olivia, Jalen, and Maya, I'm not asking you to get in the middle, like, damage your relationship. Just help foster, help me blend this family. Okay? I have a fiance. I have another person. This person I went to high school with. I have a high school sweetheart. Just like Valerie had her sweetheart. Okay? All I want to do is be friends with Valerie so we can parent our children together as friends. We don't need to be having sex to make sure that Naomi and Nathan do good in school and make sure that they are well adjusted and all that. I didn't need to be. Listen, check this out. Check this out, Olivia. When a little bit after you asked, can I just pretend? But when that happened, I talked to Lysandra. I said, hey, can I adopt Olivia so that she can feel a sense of my fatherness, so that she can have a sense of belonging, because that's important. Valerie blocked that too. Olivia, if me and Lysandra we agreed, Lysandra was like, wow, you want to adopt my hey, I don't want to stand in the way of that. Valerie stood in the way of that. Olivia, I was willing. And I was willing all the way up until, I've always been willing. I've never stopped being willing to adopt you formally, to make it so that you got an ID card, military ID, which you can go on the military base. I've wanted that for you because, spiritually speaking, you're like my first daughter. You, like I said, everybody's a firstborn except for Naomi. Naomi gets the privilege of not being a firstborn. Everybody's a firstborn. And so, Olivia, you had the argument with me. You said, hey, Uncle Matt, you didn't love children until it was for me. and you're right about that. You know what I'm saying? You said that when you were like 10, 11 years old, something like that. And I love you three. I do. And now that I'm turning into a grumpy old man, y'all can think of it as, oh, man, Uncle Matt is messed up. No, I'm getting old. I'm 43. I'm 44 right now. I'm gonna be 45. Valerie was permitted to act the way she act, and nobody checked her. Nobody's really checked Valerie. I'm the only one that's ever checked Valerie. So, and she needs to be checked. But everybody's too afraid to check her. But I'm enjoying my life right now. I'm talking about it feels so good to not be in the house with y'all. Oh my God. As much as I love being over there with y'all, do you know that I didn't have to make no pancakes? My cousin, who's visiting for the holidays, he made me pancakes. Wow. My cousin made me some pancakes. Y'all know when y'all come over, I make a whole bunch of pancakes. He made me some pancakes. I said, thank you, Lord. You're so wonderful to me. You're so wonderful to me, Lord. Father, I ask, Lord, that you would help educate Olivia, Jalen, and Maya on what they can do to help be the glue that blends this family. Teach Olivia, Maya, and Jalen what to do so that they can make this work. Because my children, they need me. I need them. And in a strange way, Richard, Lysandra, Pearl, and Valerie need me. And in a weird way, I need them too. Matter of fact, it's not even a weird way. God set this situation up. The judge, Lord, said he declined my motion to turn this into a divorce. So me and Valerie are still married, and we're gonna be married until further notice. And I'm not sad about it. I'm not sad about it, Lord, because you order my steps, you order the steps of my children, you order everybody's steps. So I trust you with this situation. You know how much I miss my children, Lord. You know how much I love them. You know how much I need to be around my children. You know how much this hurts me to not be around my children. You know how much it hurts to have a woman who is so motivated against me that she doesn't see how much she's hurting the children and hurting the relationship. So Father, I just, I put this in your hands, Lord. Well, it's always been in your hands. So I trust you. And that's why I can walk with confidence personally. And, when you can, I know for me that when I can do everything that I can do, and when I can't do any more, I can just continue to stand. And that's what I'm doing. I'm doing everything I can do so that my children could be with me also. All I want is shared custody. And Valerie has blocked sharing. We teach children to share all the time, and yet Valerie does not know how to share. It's so funny because she watched me share myself with her friends, with her family. She watched me share with children that don't belong to me. Yet with children that do belong to me, she can't even share with me. That's such a powerful metaphor in my mind. She watched me share continuously, and yet she can't share and won't share. So Father, I just ask that you educate Maya, Jalen, and educate Maya, Jalen, and Olivia in how to care for and love Naomi and Nathan while they are in this situation. Father, I also pray that my children would not contract coronavirus from Lysandra and her healthcare background. In Jesus' name.
Naomi, you can be sure I did not leave, that is the truth. You are not a pawn, so I made my moves to be strong. And Nathan, you'll inherit peace, the king within is you. See God in the sequence, blessed in the meekness, with my thesis as a little play king of God. So the system has bias and unjust laws. As we live this season, vocalize my grievance. This may weaken the system of bias and unjust laws. Unjust laws. Unjust laws. This may weaken the system of bias and unjust laws. Unjust laws. This may weaken the system of bias and unjust laws. Unjust laws. This may weaken the system of bias and unjust laws. Unjust laws. Unjust laws. Unjust laws. This may weaken the system of bias and this may weaken the system of bias and unjust laws. Unjust laws.